talking from an experience of a neighbour who used to work in one of these care homes, and some of these children are not just naughty children; they can be downright evil, um, smashing cars out, running away from home, and they're on drugs. There was one lad that ran away for nearly a month. He was on drugs in Peterborough. That's where the police found him. So it's not just a case of somebody's been a bad boy or bad girl. It's a case of they've learnt from their bad parents how not to react correctly. So I understand everything that's going through at the moment. That's why one of the reasons I wanted to join this panel. Thank you.
Can I just come back on that? I think it's just important to recognise that any child in care is a child that's experienced early childhood trauma, and it's that trauma which can often lead to difficult behaviours and emotional responses to challenging situations which children and young people find it difficult to manage themselves. And sometimes that can manifest itself in behaviours like you described, which can be difficult. But understand what you're saying, but I do think it's important that we as a committee also remember that under that behaviour is a child that's experienced something incredibly difficult and something that has really changed the way that they are able to manage their own emotions, and that's why they behave in that way, often actually putting themselves at significant risk rather than other people. And really what we need to make sure that they get is good quality, consistent care which enables them to become an adult which can contribute to society, learn what they want to do and achieve their ambitions as well. I recognise also your comment about coming from a home where that has been the normal behaviour. We have a really super targeted support service which spreads across, which is really a very broad offer for many families. So we can't enable every family to make positive changes, but the fact that we do have one of the lower rates of children entering care is evidence, I think, that lots of our targeted support does do a good job of supporting families to make positive changes earlier on to prevent those children needing to come into care. Like I said, there will always be children whose experiences are so damaging that they need us to care for them. But we're always looking to ensure that the care that they get is the best quality.
No, Councillor Goodliff.
Sorry, just to add to what Martin said, obviously we also have a responsibility for these children. They are our children under the corporate parenting legislation. They're very much our responsibility. And I think we need to be very careful about labelling children as naughty children, that what they are doing is reacting to the situations that they have been in, which are of no control of their own.
Thank you. Councillor Bradnam.
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to make a similar point following what Martin has said, that at one of the council meetings in the previous term, we issued every single councillor with a card reminding the councillors that we made 10 promises to children in our care, because these are our children. They are, I don't have any children of my own, but we have 760 odd children who are in the care of us as councillors, and we made 10 promises to them as children as to how we would listen to them, meet their needs where they need it, in the way that they need to hear from us, and that we'd enable them to thrive as children. That little book of promises is in my purse and I carry it with me. And similarly, with our children leaving care, our young people leaving care, we made a series of pledges to them just in the last year, which were our pledges to our care leavers, to ensure that we would absolutely give them the opportunity to do the things that they want to do as children, to be the best person they can be, and that we can support them as we would as parents. Many of you will be parents. And it's really important that we recognise that sometimes the children's behaviour and the young people's behaviour can be challenging because they have had a very challenging time beforehand. and we can't always do everything right, but what we must try to do is to be there and meet them where their needs are. And as Councillor Goodliff says, not to label them, but to draw alongside them and let them be the best children they can be. Interestingly, when I went to the Care Leavers event last year, we encountered a provider who was offering opportunities for young people. And he said to me he would always much rather work with a young person leaving care, because these young people are amazingly resilient, they're amazingly full of ideas, and they absolutely understand what is important to them. So I think what we need to be mindful of is the opportunities that these young people give us. So just to
Thank you
remind
very
us.
much.
Thank you.
I'm mindful that this item, although this is a really important set of points that members have made, this item is really about our financial outturn. And do members have any further questions of Martin and the team?